So my name is Tamara Golden with Golden Journeys Travel, and I am a travel consultant and custom travel planner. And many times when people meet me for the first time and I tell them what I do, I get this kind of an odd look, and people say to me, travel planner? I thought travel agents were extinct with the advent of the internet. So I'm going to give a little talk today about how travel planning is alive and well, and I'm going to give you my 5 top reasons why you or somebody you know might want to consider working with a travel planner. First one, time. So I don't need to belabor this one if you've planned a trip recently, but there is so much information available on the internet. And you can spend hours upon hours looking up flight information and travel planning information, trip advisor reviews, and travel blogs. Where should I go? What should I see? What hotel should I stay in? And next thing you know, you're staying up until 2 in the morning for 5 days in a row trying to plan this trip. So most busy professionals and busy parents would like to outsource that planning and research to someone else. That someone is me. So reason number 2 you might want to work with a travel planner is expertise. So anytime we're going someplace new, we usually have some questions. And the more foreign the country, the more foreign the culture, often the more questions we have. What areas should I go see? What cities should I visit? What are the must-do, must-see things in these places? What's the best time of year to visit? So all of these kinds of questions. Maybe you're planning a cruise. Should I do an ocean cruise? Should I do a river cruise? Big ship, little ship? So there's all of this information that's available to you. And again, some people go on the internet and find it there, but some people prefer to come to an experienced travel planner. So how do I gain that expertise? Well, first of all, I travel a lot. I have been to 14 countries in the last 19 months. And every time I go to a location, I'm using the local guides, I'm visiting the hotels in the area and doing site inspections, I'm eating at the recommended restaurants. So I'm really able to bring all of that firsthand knowledge back to my clients when they're planning trips to those same destinations. Second way that I gain my expertise is through training. So I am constantly doing either online or in-person training on new countries, new markets, cruise lines, ocean cruise lines, river cruise lines, hotel chains. So I can again bring all of that knowledge to my clients. Now, I can't have traveled everywhere. I'm certainly trying, but I haven't gotten there yet. So for those places where I haven't traveled, I have a network of on-location providers. And these providers are phenomenal. They provide me with expertise because they are locals. They know the country, they know the cities, they know the culture, they know the customs, they know what to see and where to go. So they help me put together an itinerary that is a perfect fit for my clients according to their budget, their tastes, and their interests. So, reason number 3 you might want to use a travel planner. Resources. I just mentioned my on-location providers. These folks open doors to amazing resources that are not available on the internet. So, if you're going to try to find them, you're not going to. These are exclusive, not available to the public. Let me give you some examples. So, let's start with accommodations. Maybe you'd like to stay in a castle in Ireland, or maybe you'd like to stay in a luxury underground hotel carved into the rock in the Cappadocia region of Turkey. Or maybe you'd like to stay on a 2-masted sailing ship off the coast of Bali. Or maybe your preference is to stay in an old Renaissance palace in Florence or Venice, surrounded by 16th century frescoes adorning your bedroom. Let's talk about activities. Maybe you'd like to have an evening of being entertained by a geisha in Japan. Or perhaps you'd like to, if you're visiting Southeast Asia, go on a street food tour with a famous food blogger in Hanoi. Or while we're talking food, how about having a 5-star Aboriginal chef take you on a tour of the outback and then make you dinner under the stars with Uluru, the red rock, in sight. So these are some of the many experiences that I have access to, and these are the kinds of things that make a trip a once-in-a-lifetime experience. All right, reason number 4, money. So the one thing I can really do as a travel planner is make sure that you're getting value for the money that you're spending. So I'm going to give you a concrete example with this one. I recently had some friends, a couple, who were wanting to take a honeymoon to New Zealand. And I was setting them up with a tour company that I knew was going to give them the best flights available to New Zealand. But this was the first time I was using this tour company to book accommodations. So I also knew that this couple was trying to do this as economically as possible. And so I actually spent an entire evening, probably 5 hours, going through their itinerary, city by city, and looking to see if I could get them anything less expensive than what the tour company had quoted. And I was thrilled in the end. I was looking, at travel agent options. I was looking at Booking.com, on public online sites, and I was thrilled because in the end, that tour company was able to put my couple at either higher room categories or in nicer hotels altogether than what I was able to orchestrate on my own. So I knew they were getting phenomenal bang for their buck. All right, reason number 5 you might want to work with a travel planner, support. It's really nice to have somebody live in person that you can talk to while you're doing the planning process and have questions. But when this is really important is when you're 1,000 miles away from home in a foreign country. Again, let's go back to my honeymooning couple in New Zealand. So en route back to the United States, they were meant to stop for 3 nights in a resort in Fiji. Well, while they were still in New Zealand, a storm struck up and a Class 5 hurricane started making its way toward the island where they were supposed to be staying. So we spent a very dicey few days trying to figure out what we were going to do. So I worked with the tour company to come up with a contingency plan in case the resort was rendered inoperable. The hurricane hit on a weekend. We then spent a couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, the tour company trying to reach the resort by email and phone, me scouring the internet, looking at social media to try to figure out the results of what had happened and what was taking place on this island. Long story short, they were able to go, the resort was operational, we found that out a day before they flew there. They went, they enjoyed themselves, had a great time, but they really shared with me that it was very important for them to know that I was working behind the scenes on their behalf so they could just relax and enjoy their vacation. So, when should you use the services of a travel planner? I would argue when any one of these 5 is at play. You've got better things to do with your time. You want to pick the brains of somebody who's got expertise in the industry and have access to their phenomenal resources, when you want to make sure you're getting value for your money, and when you really want the support of somebody who cares. So these are my TERMS terms that I work by. And I'll just say this, far from being extinct, this is one travel planner who's alive and well, and I love what I do. I love putting together amazing trips for people. So next time you're planning a trip, give me a call and let's talk travel.